I feel like I'm living the dream. I'm publishing a book called The Heroes of the Tuduma Forest, and I thought it would be fun to share my journey with you. Whether you're a writer wanting to publish your own book and wondering how, or a friend and want to know how the process is going, I want to share the ups and downs with you. I have fulfilled a few bucket list items just in publishing my book. So I will share a couple of those with you as well. What an adventure this has been. Almost a year ago, my mother in law encouraged me to write a story. After I wrote it, my husband said I should publish it. So I called a friend who got me in touch with someone who got me in touch with someone who finally got me in touch with a publishing company. I started editing, which is a very long process, but completely worth it. If you're considering getting your work edited and wondering if it's worth the investment, it is totally worth it. I'm actually pretty good at editing, and I still needed a lot of revision on my book. I spent a ton of time correcting it. Then I sent it to a content editor. She looked at the big picture to see if there were any plot holes or confusing parts, point of view problems. And after content editing was done, then I went and had another editor line edit or copy edit. Those are the same thing. So the editor goes line by line and checks for grammar mistakes. The third type of editing was proofreading. The same editor looked for small mistakes that we might have missed. Personally, I love editing. I love editing my work. I love having it critiqued by others. I think that it's because I like learning and growing. Um, isn't it with everything we learn in life? If you want to learn to play piano, you sit down, you make horrible noises on the instrument, then you think about the mistakes you've made, you fix them, and that's how you learn to play piano. I look back on my pre editing work and think, oh my gosh, ugh, that was so bad. And then I look at the process and I look at how it looks now and I think that it's amazing how far my writing has come. So one thing I have learned is when you work really hard at something, you can get a lot better. Parents, if your kids are watching, I wanted to specifically encourage kids that if you want to become an author, it's not impossible. Work hard, read a lot, and don't be afraid to ask lots of questions. I watch countless writing tip videos, which I highly recommend for anyone who wants to publish. And I have read more in the last year than any year before, at least since college. I even learned what an M dash is. you you might be like I was and say, M dash, that sounds like a made up word. You've probably heard of a dash, right? Just dashes are used to bring two words together, like able bodied, round trip, brother in law. But an M dash is a long line that you can use if someone is interrupted by someone else. You can also use it in a phrase that can be cut out and the sentence still makes sense. So, for example, she loves cake, M dash, the chocolatey kind, M dash, with vanilla ice cream. So you could cut out the chocolatey kind and the sentence still makes sense, right? She loves cake with vanilla ice cream. Great. Now I want dessert. Anyway, I had never even heard of M dashes before, and now I hear the words all over writer tip videos. Now that I am done with the major editing, there will be one more round when I get the book in my hands, but the fun part begins. I get to sit back and relax. No, I'm just kidding. I get to make YouTube videos while my publisher does the interior and cover. I just made a book trailer and got to record my voice in a studio. I have always wanted to record my voice with a fancy microphone and have it used in a cartoon. Okay, not quite that part. I got really close, so I'm counting it as a bucket list. Um, I'm going to continue to make content here on YouTube, so stay tuned for next week. I'm going to talk about POV, point of view, and what I've learned about this very bizarre topic. At the beginning of the video, I'll also share what's the scariest part of the writing process so far, for me anyway. But I'd like to hear about your own experiences in writing. What has been the scariest part of the writing process for you? Do you like editing your own work? Do you like others critiquing you? Leave a comment below. And if you want to learn more about the heroes of the Taduma Forest, go to my website, deborahpettit.com. See you next week.